The Martin McDonough Gym, East Broadway, South Boston. It remains what it began as some 40 years ago, a training center for young boxers. The city spends about $30,000 a year here on equipment and coaches to teach kids 16 and under that manly art of fighting within the rules of a ring. The theory of the program is at least as old as the gym itself.
I consider fighting a way to get out your anxieties out, your nervous tensions out. The kids come up here, they work out, they have a good time. They go home nice and tired. And the mother loves it. They go to sleep and they're out like a light, see? Instead of hanging on corners, fooling with drugs, getting in a bad group of kids, they come up here, they have a good time. They learn their bodies. You only have one body in this life. And if you can buy another one, I never heard of it. Like some people throw drugs down. They think they can go to a Joe shop, put down $50, give me a new brain, give me a new stomach, give me a new liver. You can't do it. You have one body. You live with it, you die with it. So I like to keep these kids in condition.
There are some 300 kids who come here at one time or another to try their hands at pugilism. But there's a hard core of about 50 who've become kind of an extended family for ex-pro fighter Tommy Connors, a one-time kitchen worker at Boston City Hospital who gets $160 a week from the city for handling these fighters.
I give them all nicknames, you know what I mean? We have M&M Mighty Mouse, we get Stretch, we get Apple, his Bulldog, his Cobra. I named him after the featherweight champion of New England, Little Red Lopez. You know him, he just lost his title from the coast. 126-pound champion because of a redhead, but he's one redhead that can fight, so not too many people bother him about it.
When I was about 6 years old, I've been beaten up on, so my sisters brought me up and said learn how to fight. I feel healthy. I feel like I want to keep my body rolling, keep it healthy. I don't smoke, I don't do nothing, I don't drink like other kids on the corner.
Before I came in here, I hanged around the corner. It wasn't no fun and stuff. So I just come up here and Tom taught me how to box and stuff.
When you box, you have to do your hardest. When you get in the ring, there's no one else to fight. There's no one else to box. You're all by yourself.
My mother don't like me to box, but I just say, Ma, when I'm a heavyweight champion, I'll buy you a new house and everything to let me box.
Are his mother's fears about fighting justified?
If I ever see them getting hurt, if I think the kid's getting hurt, I immediately stop it. I tell the kids before the fight, I'm proud of you, whether you win or lose. All right, just give it your best. If I think the kid's out, if I think my fight is getting hurt, I stop the fight immediately.
When you're in the ring, you don't get that hurt that much because, it's only a minute around and you're just hitting the other kid back and it's not really hitting each other real hard and stuff.
The medical establishment does not totally agree. The sports medicine division of Children's Hospital says that as long as no one under 12 actually enters the ring for a fight, and as long as large gloves and head and mouth protection are supplied, boxing is reasonably safe. But kids as young as 10 are coming here to box, and doctors say those under 12 expose themselves to possible brain injury. Coach Tom Connor says his fighters haven't suffered anything worse than a broken nose and a few black eyes. But that may be because the fighters at McDonough Gym don't just fight, they usually win.
This is Ducky Hurtado now, David Hurtado, well-known M&M Mighty Mouse of the famous Hurtado fighting family, doing his thing on the speed bag. This kid is a standout, without a doubt. I think myself, if God willing, health and everything, he has Olympic potentiality.
14-year-old David has won 122 of 128 fights, following in a family tradition.
His brother Richard Hurtado is his older brother, 15 going on 16. He has 139 fights, 6 losses. Then he has another brother, Anthony Hurtado. I think he's 22, married, 2 children. His record is so phenomenal, I hate to even admit it.
Their father, Anthony Hurtado Sr., is a retired firefighter and one-time amateur boxing champ himself, who now helps coach his sons at McDonough Gym.
The reason I keep them boxing, to keep them out of the streets. And I've boxed all my life since I was a kid. Back to the same gym right here. And about 35 years ago, and my kids are going to take after what I've done. A couple of my kids I kept out of the tournament because their marks were bad in school. And just keep them out 1 week, and their marks are right up on top again. So then they start boxing.
When we were at the gym, the training was aimed at a tournament held last week in Fall River. the National Junior Olympics New England Regional Elimination.
We're in the finals, Johnny. Fall River next Friday night. Come on, this is the finals. Work now. Make it a break.
The Police Athletic League Hall, Franklin Street, Fall River, last Friday night. There are fighters 16 and under here from 9 New England gyms, fighting for the chance to go to an East Coast regional tournament to be held next week in Franklin, Mass., and from there to the National Junior Olympic Championships in Squaw Valley, California. Expenses paid, courtesy Sears Roebuck and the Amateur Athletic Union. This is a blue-collar family crowd filled with parents cheering on their kids, sometimes mildly, sometimes with great enthusiasm. There's cheap beer for the audience, trophies for the winners, and there's sportsmanship. The victors must congratulate the losers. The fighters here have already cleared 2 previous elimination rounds, and McDonough Gym is well represented in this New England final. There are 15 McDonough fighters in 23 bouts, and Tommy Connors is here with them, literally in their corner. To a layman's eye, the McDonough boys look better trained than most of their opponents, more like boxers than just fighters. And that training pays off for John Little Red Shea. Good training alone does not prove enough for all the McDonough fighters, but overall, this is a night of triumph for the McDonough Gym. They will win championships in 14 weight divisions, and for the 4th year in a row, take home the Junior Olympics team trophy.
Nice going, Stevie. Nice going. In the blue corner, wearing red trunks, representing McDonough Gym in Boston, David Attardo from Boston.
Among the victorious is David Ducky Attardo, the apple of Coach Tommy Connors' eye. David's victory could be the beginning of a trip to the championship rounds in Squaw Valley, perhaps someday to an Olympics. But his triumph also makes it clear that if there are lessons to be learned through boxing, some boxers learn them the hard way.
I think the referee should have stopped it in the second round. I was calling out stop the fight myself, not because of the way I trained or helped train them. The child that was beating the other child on points and physically, it came to the point that I just thought it was getting vicious.
But for Tommy Connors and his protégés, there's no doubt that the benefits of boxing are worth the risks.
I think overall, how do you feel about the performance of the McDonough Gym tonight?
Outstanding, unbelievable, indescribable, sensational, lovely.